So the plot of this book is it's set in Nigeria and it's about a man who is a poultry farmer. He doesn't have any parents and he has this deep sadness within him. He's driving past a bridge one day and he sees that a woman is about to jump off the bridge and commit suicide. He then stops his van and he's just bought two great birds that he really was looking forward to buying, and he throws them over the bridge and says to her, look, you can't kill yourself, let me show you how much damage you would do to yourself. So he sacrifices his own birds who he really cares about to stop this woman who he doesn't know from committing suicide. So he does this and then he drives away. They don't exchange numbers or anything. Their paths later on meet. I thought this was really good. Really great. Great that it's on the Booker Prize long list. I expect to see this on the Booker Prize short list. Let me show you that right now. Because
that was Hannah Tate. Wasn't that a really compelling video? I just wanted to watch and watch. She is one of my favorite booktubers, and Hannah is doing a series of videos about this year's Booker Prize. I've seen all of them, and she's one of the first persons to champion an orchestra of minorities. Now, in this video, I'm going to talk about 11 booktubers who are doing a great job with this year's Booker Prize. Thing about the Booker Prizes this year is that all the 13 novels on the long list were really challenging. Now we have the short list, and a lot of these booktubers have managed to read those novels. And so what's going to happen is this. I'm going to talk about 11 of the good booktubers. And I think one of the goals for us as a booktube community is to get more people into literary fiction, which is a demanding art form. So coming up, the top 11 booktubers on the Booker Prize. Hello, I'm SamuelDaram. Did you know that every month YouTube has over 1.9 billion users? 1.9 billion logged in users. And when you consider all the others who don't log in and watch videos, the number could be as high as 2.2 billion to 2.5 billion. That's like combining the population of two of the largest countries in the world, China and India. And YouTube also has over 23 million channels. So this is a lot of influence. The reason why I'm coming up with all these numbers is because it's to try and put BookTube within the context of the larger ecosystem of YouTube. Now, the biggest solo tuber in the world is Felix, also known as PewDiePie. He works in the gaming niche. Now, on my list of the best booktubers, the one with the largest number of subscribers has under 17,000 subscribers. I nearly said 17 million. No booktuber comes anywhere near there. And this Sunday Time published this really interesting report, a survey where they looked at the top 100 YouTubers who can influence a lot of people in Britain and the world. And I was looking at to see the number of booktubers who might be on it, or the authortubers. Now, I belong to those two niches, booktube and authortube. And I was wondering how many booktubers might be in it. Can you guess? Can you guess the number of booktubers who made it on the top 100 list? Have a go. Well, the number is 0. Not a single booktuber is on the top 100 list. And there is Zoella, but strictly speaking, she's not really a booktuber. She's not an authentic booktuber. The issue here is that as a booktube community, we can grow and we can prosper. And there are certain things I noticed. Now, I still consider myself as a baby booktuber, just like my friend here. I mean, we watch a lot of booktube, Baby Elton and me. And one of the things we noticed is that we're not big enough. We could be a lot bigger than this. And I think even with literary fiction, a lot of people read these literary novels. And it's up to us to get them involved. And this is one of the reasons why I want more people to watch all these channels. And it's also by cheerleading one another. I belong to lots of groups in the real world, especially in London. Last year, I was the event organizer of Julia Cameron's The Artist's Way. The goal is to get a lot of artists to get them to be more productive. And I had over 20 different artists. They were poets, singer-songwriters, writers, screenwriters, playwrights. And my goal over 16 weeks is to inspire them and guide them to do better in whatever they wanted to do. And what that meant is that if they had a concert, for example, or a gig, I would go and support them. If they had a stand-up comedy gig, I will go. All those things cost money. Traveling, buying the tickets, refreshments, it could go to anything between 20 to 30 pounds or 50 pounds sometimes. The reason why I'm mentioning money is that to support somebody on YouTube, it doesn't cost any money. We are all creators, we're all artists. That's the thing that I want to happen here. So all these, one of the reasons why I'm doing this video is that by mentioning all these booktubers, you can go and watch them and support them. If you're not a subscriber, support their channels by subscribing, clicking the like button, and then leaving a comment, because all those things helps that channel. Adam Durant at Memento Mori is one of my favorite booktubers. He was one of the first booktubers of influence to subscribe to my channel. I've been watching him for a while. His literary sensibilities are closer to mine. And this year, he hasn't done many booktube videos. However, he has done a video which has had a really high number of views. And this was a reaction to the long list. And the amazing thing about him is that he was so quick. And the video is brilliantly edited. And he was the first to put it out there. And I really enjoyed watching it. The interesting thing is I love the Booker Prize. And my sister and I have been watching the Booker Prize since we were teenagers. So, but Adam was really savage in satirizing that prize in that video. And he's been doing that for a while. But I loved it. I loved it because my play is Taylor Swift's Dog, which toured England last year. And it also won a prize as the best play financed by the Arts Council of England. That play is about corruption in the world of publishing. And it's a satire. So when Adam did that, I liked it. I thought it was really good. And but he also does a lot of literary fiction. So I think you should give it a go. And I'm sure he will come up with more videos about the Booker Prize with his own taste and style. Britta Bowler is the other booktuber that I watch regularly. Last year, she did a really good booktube video about the long list. And she said that the Booker Prize committee, what they should do is they should publicize all the books that are submitted to that committee. Because what happens is that all we get to know is the long list. This year, for example, 151 titles were submitted. And 13 books made it to the long list. But we don't know all the novels that made it, that got submitted. For example, was Colson Whitehead's The Nickel Boys, was it under consideration? How about the latest novel by Anne Patchett or Joyce Carol Oates? We don't know. Those novels didn't make it. So Britta came up with this idea that suggested this idea that they should do it. Let's have their website should publish all the novels that get submitted. And Britta also does a lot of good videos about literary fiction. And the other thing that I love about Britta is that she is a good cheerleader of other people's work, other people's channels. And to me, that's one of the hallmarks of a good YouTuber, not just a booktuber, but on BookTube, the ones I watch regularly in other niches, they give shout outs to other people. They cheerlead the work of others. And Britta does that. I mean, a few weeks ago, Britta gave me a shout out and it made a huge difference. I really appreciated that. So Britta, if you're watching, thank you so much. You were really kind. And you're kind in a really consistent way. Every week you're mentioning another channel, and I know that other channel will flourish because of that. And this is one of the reasons I like Britta. Eric Carl Anderson is Mr. Booker Prize. He's the one who does the most detailed Booker Prize videos. He attends a lot of literary events. I mean, last week he attended an event where he showed a speech with Peter Florence, the chair of this year's judges, and the speech was really good, and it was really informative. We understood what it meant, and you can see in the background Elif Shafak and a few other nominated novelists. So that's really, he has a lot of insider information on what's going on. I love that. He's always quick to give reaction videos about the long list and short list. He's also the most consistent of all the booktubers when it comes to the Booker Prize. I love watching him. As I'm still getting to know BookTube, I haven't watched all of Eric's older videos, but I'm definitely familiar with all the Booker Prize related videos. I think you should check them out. Recently, Eric was the first to do a really thorough, detailed discussion about Lucy Ellmann's Ducks Newbery report. And today, he had stayed up all night, I think, or he had very little sleep. And he was one of the first to do a detailed discussion about Margaret Atwood's much hyped The Testaments, and I watched that and it was really fascinating. And he got the green hood and everything, and it's really good. Eric lives and breathes the Booker Prize, and I think I'm glad that we got someone like that who's a great ambassador for the prize as well. I love watching Hannah Tay. She's funny, and I discovered her about 2 weeks ago. So now I go back and watch some of her older videos, and I just love being in her company. And this year she's actually the most consistent because she has done a video for most of the books that were on the long list. I watched a video about Jeanette Winterson, Frankenstein. And that completely savaged that novel. And I'm glad it did that because I hated that novel. And I didn't think it deserved, it should have been on the long list. I love Jeanette Winterson, but this is a weak book. And Hannah did a good job of it. Now, the Booker Prize judges might never admit to watching any of these BookTube videos, but they might do. And I think if they had watched Hannah's video on Jeanette Winterson, it might have influenced it. Maybe, I don't know, but Hannah was so good at highlighting the weaknesses of that novel. It was amazing. And also she's, as I said before, she was good at championing Obioma's second novel, and then she's funny. And she also loves Agatha Christie like me. 2 weeks ago, I was having lunch with somebody, and my phone made that ping noise. An email had come in. So I had a quick look, and it said, Hannah Tay has subscribed to your YouTube channel. And I know this is going to sound sad, but I was so happy because Hannah Tay is a YouTuber of influence. She's a booktuber of influence. Anyone with over 5,000 subscribers on BookTube is hugely influential because it's a small niche. In another niche like fashion, beauty or gaming, 7,000 subscribers is not a big deal, but on BookTube it's huge. So for Hannah to come and subscribe to my channel, it meant a big deal to me because as I will keep on saying, I am a baby booktuber. I'm still learning about all the others. So Hannah, thank you so much for subscribing to my channel. And Hannah is one of those booktubers who supports other people, and she will mention them and cheerlead the work of other people. And also, I'm also glad that she's also from Britain, because on BookTube, the larger BookTube, most of the booktubers with a huge following are not from Britain. They're from the United States. So it's good that I have a booktuber who I think is funny, who does a really thorough job with literary fiction, and I really like watching her. So Hannah. Jasmine is another one of my favorite booktubers. She has done a lot of videos about booktube. The thing is, this year she hasn't made that many booktube videos, which is a shame. Jasmine, I would love to see you do more videos about this year's shortlist. But in the meantime, I suggest you just go and have a look at her, subscribe to her channel. I remember when she had just under 1,000 subscribers, but her growth has been really fast in the last 2 years, and that's been impressive. So Lucy and Scott are the only double act or duet in my list. They're probably one of the few double acts in the whole of BookTube, and I love watching them because they're always so positive and happy. Lucy is always so bubbly, Scott is always agreeable, and they also do a lot of Booker Prize related videos that are detailed and thorough, and they've been consistent this year as well, and they were consistent last year. I like watching them. I appreciate Lucy and Scott's work a lot more than probably other booktubers, and the reason for that, because last year I had another YouTube channel, and that's all to do with self-improvement, and I was part of a double act, a duet, and I had a good time, I had a good journey. But then we ended up falling out. We had a lot of creative differences. We ended up arguing over the vision about where the channel was going, and it was really difficult. And so, but when I watch Lucy and Scott, I look at them. When I watch Lucy and Scott, and I can't believe how you are so happy with each other, and there's a lot of good chemistry, and you just carry on doing it. And I think you've been doing it for years. And I really recommend you go and, if you are not already watching Book Hacks, that's their channel, go and have a look. They are so happy together. And but I do have a question for Lucy and Scott. How do you maintain this level of positivity throughout your videos? Are you like that all the time? I mean, when I was doing it with my creative partner, we were constantly fighting and arguing before and after the videos, sometimes during the videos. That's how it was like that. So in the end, I went solo, and I'm happier. Although in the next few weeks and months, I am planning to do collaborations with other YouTubers, but I don't think I would do. I don't think I would have a YouTube channel where I am with someone else constantly, because I think that would be too challenging. But I'm interested into your response. So in the comment section, do tell me, what is the secret of maintaining a channel where it has to function as a duet, as a duo? Mark Nash does a lot of videos about literary fiction, and this year he has done a lot of really useful, informative videos about novels such as Lost Children Archive, Frankenstein, and Lanny. I recommend you really go and check this channel out. I started watching Matthew Shurappa last week. He's got a really good YouTube video about Duck's Newburyport, and I thought it was really thorough, really interesting, and I'm still getting to know his work. So Matthew, I think really interesting. I think other people should go and check out his channel. The other booktuber that I like watching is Peg, the book price addict, and Peg has a really interesting marking scheme for assessing all the Booker Prize novels, and I find that really interesting. She has already done videos about Duck's Newburyport, and it must have been really difficult for her to get a book like that, because in the United States, I think their publication was a bit delayed. But Peg, being so passionate about BookTube, she managed to get a copy, and she's also reading every single novel on this year's shortlist. So go and check Peg's channel. I love watching Simon's channel. He's another one who's always thorough, detailed about the Booker Prize. This year, I sent him a DM asking why he's not doing any Booker Prize related videos, and he said he's busy with lots of other projects. But last year he was fantastic. Last year, for example, I was watching the BBC live, national TV, and who was there? Simon, with the comedian and novelist Natalie Haynes, and they were doing a good discussion about it, and he was wearing a nice suit, and it was a great evening. One of the highlights of last year's Booker Prize, the whole of last year's Booker Prize season, was seeing Simon Savage on the BBC live on national TV. All of UK would have watched it, and I recorded the whole thing because I was that excited, because he represented Booker Prize in a big way. He represented BookTube in a really good way. And then and the other good thing I like about Simon is that he's good on engagement. He even has a video where he advises prospective booktubers. He said one of the key is engagement, 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 and he practices that as well. So many times I would have commented on his video, and he would have come and replied. And on Twitter, for example, I could ask him a question, he will reply, which is amazing, because not everybody does that. And there are, in other niches, no matter how big you are, the other YouTubers will make it a priority to go and respond to the commenters' comments, and but not every booktuber does it. But Simon is really good, and I think last year I asked him about the suit. I said, "Where did you get the suit?" And immediately, I think within 10 minutes, he told me ASOS, and so it was really fascinating. Simon, I love watching your Booker Prize related videos. I do miss your work this year. I've loved them last year, and I really hope you come back this year, at least near the finals, to do a video about what you think about this year's Booker Prize. I've been watching Sophie for over 2 years. I think she's another one that I watch regularly, and she's really good at literary fiction. This year she has already done, I think, at least 3 videos about the Booker Prize. She's not as consistent. Sophie brings us something different, and I suggest you go and watch it and you decide yourself. I love watching Sophie. Sophie, I hope you become more consistent. in the next few weeks as the shortlist gets really interesting, and then we have to find a winner. I wonder what you think. Who do you think will win? Who are you supporting? Steve Donahue is the Dr. Samuel Johnson of YouTube. In 18th century England, legend had it that Dr. Johnson is the only one who reads every single book that was published in that time. And you feel as though Steve Donahue is the one, or in our generation, who reads everything that's been published. I think he even claimed once that he has read everything that's ever been published. I watch him regularly, but it's hard to stay up to date because he's the most prolific booktuber in the history of YouTube, because every single day he uploads a video. And sometimes 2 videos, sometimes 3 videos. I can't keep up. And one of my favorite booktube videos is when he talked about reviewers. He's also a professional reviewer, and this was about 3 Saturdays ago, and he said that he loves reading the reviews of Sir V.S. Pritchard, I like that, and Evelyn Waugh, and he said he likes to compare them, the style, and I went and commented because my favorite reviewer, who's also a novelist, is John Updike. I read him regularly, and we were having a discussion about it, and Steve is really good at that, and Steve is really prolific as a reader and as a booktuber. And now, of course, the thing about Dr. Johnson is that he would digress, right? If you're familiar with reading with Dr. Johnson's work, he can digress, but even those digressions are interesting. Steve Donahue's like that as well. He would digress, but they're interesting. He's also controversial. He can be dogmatic, but that's all part of the charm. And so if you're not familiar with Steve, go and watch his work. I watch him regularly. I don't agree with everything that Steve says. For example, he says with the Booker Prize, most of the judges don't even bother to read the novels. I don't think so. I just don't believe that. But at the same time, I love the fact that he's there to criticize or critique the Booker Prize. And that's good. We need that. We need a broad church on BookTube. And Steve is hugely influential, and I like watching him. I just looked at some of my stats for YouTube, and I found out that I subscribe to over 2,000 channels on YouTube. Of course, not all of them are BookTube or AuthorTube. I support channels in tech, fitness, and self-improvement. My point is that as creators, we are artists, right? I know that sounds cheesy and corny. We are artists. Anyone who creates something out of nothing is doing something amazing. And we should be supporting each other. So I hope you watch some of these channels or all of these channels. If you're not already a subscriber, subscribe to their channels. It's cheap, it's free to subscribe, and that way that channel will grow. And YouTube's algorithms, it works in such a way that the more people subscribe and like and comment, then they will then put those channels and their videos on the homepages of other users. That's how a channel grows. And I think I want that to happen. I think my vision for BookTube and AuthorTube is that we can grow bigger. There's no reason why we can't get close to gaming or beauty or fashion or fitness or interior design. Why not? Why can't we? Books are really important. Books matter in the lives of people. Everybody reads books, right? Everybody. So we can become a huge influence on BookTube and the world. I really mean that. So let's start now with the Booker Prize. Now, there are plenty of other booktubers I watch. They're not on the list because for obvious reasons, they're not having discussions about the Booker Prize. But I plan to do a different video about all the other YouTubers, all the other booktubers who have helped me to get to this number. So far, I got about 300 subscribers. So thank you so much. So if you're one of those people who subscribe to my channel, thank you so much. You really do have an excellent sense of judgment and an exquisite taste. And I mean that because to appreciate what I'm doing, you have to have those two qualities. And I hope you go and watch those 11 booktubers. Have fun because they're all good and interesting in a different way. I'm going to do the same. A few years ago, when I used to have all these horrible day jobs, I was also a trade union rep, and I had to represent a lot of difficult cases. And one of the things we always told each other is that United we stand, divided we fall. I know that's another cliche, but cliches exist for a reason. Here comes more cliches. You get what you give, right? The more you give, the more you're going to get. And the more love you put out into the world, the more love that's going to come back to you, right? So let's go and spread a lot of love, show each other a lot of love, and that way a lot of love will come back. And I want to have a booktuber who would one day have maybe 20 million subscribers. Yeah, not 20,000, 20 million. That there's no reason. Books matter. I will always say that. And so let's go towards that vision. And that starts by helping each other, supporting each other, cheerleading the work of each other. That way we grow. And when we help other people grow, we grow in that process. I want to talk about a mindset of abundance. When Adam subscribed to my channel, I had about 22 subscribers. Now, Adam is one of those people with a mindset of abundance. Although you might think because he's very satirical, he doesn't help other people. But the thing is, he does. He was really quick in supporting me. And the thing I love about that is that when you have somebody with a mindset of abundance, they are quick to cheerlead the work of other people. When we cheerlead the work of other people, we grow together. And this is the amazing thing. So what I really want to see is more people helping each other. That's one of the important things I love about artists that I enjoy supporting, is that they go and help other people. And when you help other people, you grow together.